Hi guys, so this is lesson 5.4 and we're going to be learning about another type of equation or a different form to write it when we're using slope, and it's called the point slope form. But we have 6 things that we're going to get through in this video. Intercepts and horizontal and vertical lines, which is a little bit of a difficult concept, and then going into what point slope form is and how to graph using it. Okay, so what are the intercepts? So the intercepts, we're just talking about the points where they cross the line. Your y-intercept here is the point where, I'm just going to grab a pen to kind of write here. Your y-intercept is where the graph crosses your crosses the y-axis. Sorry, it's hard to write when my computer is up. So in this case, our y-intercept, it's crossing over your y-axis here at this blue dot, which is 0, 8. Okay, the other name is your x-intercept, and your x-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. Let me grab the pen again, sorry. Where your graph crosses the x-axis. Okay, so in this case, it's at this red dot here, which would be 6, 0. Be careful that you write it correctly, that you have a 0 in the y spot for your x-intercept and a 0 in the x spot for your y-intercept. Okay, so now find the equation given 2 intercepts. So this is something that we were working on in lesson 5.3, and you have 2 ordered pairs. So what we're going to do is we're going to write those ordered pairs up and down. We're going to circle our y's, and we're going to find our slope. So you subtract your y's. First you write your formula, sorry. You subtract your y's over subtract your x's, and we get 6 over negative 8. Now hopefully you realize that you can reduce that, and you can divide both of them by 2, and you get that your slope is 3/4. Okay, our b, you should know that your b is when the x is 0 and your y-intercept is given, which is 0, 6. So right here, grabbing this one right here, that's your b. You should know that that's your b because there's a 0 in your x spot and a number in your y spot. This other number here is given your x-intercept. So now we're going to, I'm just writing down your steps in case you need them. You have find the m, find the b, write your equation, and our equation is y equals negative 3/4 x plus 6. Okay. So now I want you to try this one. See how you do. Pause me, and then go back and say. Write them like that. We circle our points, our y's. We subtract our y's over our x's. We simplify, we get negative 6/4. We reduce that, we get negative 3/2. You should be able to identify which one is your y-intercept, which is 6, and then we write our equation, and there you go. Okay, horizontal lines, lines that go like this, horizon. When you have a horizontal line, the equation is always going to be y equals a number, okay, because all of these numbers on our graph, x can be whatever, but our y, in order to keep it this way, our y has to go up a certain amount every time, the same amount across your whole graph. So it could be going up 2 every time. So then your equation would be y equals 2, because that your y is not changing. Okay, or y equals 4 is just another example for you. Or y equals negative 2. Those are all just examples. They will always be horizontal lines, and if you were to make a table, your x values could change and your y values will always be that number. Okay, the slope of a horizontal line is 0, and the reason why your equation is just y equals a number is because there's no slope. We're not going to write, just grab my pen, you're not going to write y equals 0 times x plus 4. We can simplify 0x. We don't write that, so we would just write y equals 4. Okay? So that's a horizontal line equation. Vertical line equation, so we want the line to always be this. So we want our line to always be at an x value. your equation is going to be x equals a number. So the x has to stay the same, and your y can change. It's going up and down at any value. So examples could be x equals 4, x equals -2. Okay, these are not y equals equations. These are the only equations that are not y equals. Everything else is going to be y equals, and then you can have your mx plus b. The slope of a vertical line, hopefully we know what a vertical line is, it's undefined, okay? Not 0. You cannot write 0 when it's going up and down. So horizontal line, slope of 0, vertical line, slope undefined. Okay. Point slope form. So this is just another way that we can write an equation. It's actually very beneficial. A lot of times we just have one ordered pair and we have the slope, and we can use this form to write our equation. So if m is the slope and we have an ordered pair, x, the first x and the first y is a point on our line, we could use this formula. Okay, and all we did basically was rearrange our slope formula. If you kind of notice here, we just moved around our slope formula. M equals, and you have subtracting of the y's over subtracting of the x's. So now, if the slope of a line is 2, and we have the ordered pair 3, 2, it's on the line, then the equation of the line is, so we're going to plug in what we know. We know that our slope is 2, so the 2, let me grab my pen. This 2 here went into my m spot. Here is my x and my y. So my x goes there. I'm subtracting x minus x and y minus y. Okay? Make sure to note that you distribute the right side if m equals -1, 0, or 1. Okay, so I'll have to explain that one to you. So when your slope is -1, 0, or 1, you've got to simplify your right side. Okay, graph using the point slope form. You're going to graph the line that passes through 2, 4 and has a slope of -3. Okay, so we just have to plot our points. These are your steps here in red. You're going to go to 2, 4 first. You go over to 2 and you go up to 4. And yes, you should sketch this in your notebook. You should make a graph. You don't have to number it because you should know that you're going by ones. Plot the point 2, 4, and then has a slope of -3. You need to know that -3, if you write that as a fraction, is -3 over 1. Your rise over your run. That means go down 3 and 1 to the right. And you're going to do that from that point that you plotted. So we're going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. Okay, the more 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. The more points you make, the straighter your line can be, and then you're going to connect them. Oh, I'm not going to try to connect them with a line here. All right, so let's see if I can do it. Your line should be much straighter than mine. It's hard to draw it on a computer. Make sure you put arrows. Make sure you also label your line with your with the equation. So now we got to figure out our equation. Well, we have y minus our y, which is 4. Equals our slope, which is -3, times our x minus 2. And we're going to write that right along here. Y minus 4 equals -3. Hopefully yours is much, much neater than mine. Times x minus 2. Okay, and we're going to practice a bunch more of these in class. Hopefully you're good to go. Have a good one.